NEM Show. Today's guest doesn't need any introduction. Is someone pretty known in our ecosystem, and nowadays is rallying literally our troops towards what's next for our ecosystem. I'm talking about who else? Kristy-Leigh Minehan. She's the CTO of NEM Software, and she's been so very kind to be with us. And I know it's been a long day, and even though she's here with us recording this interview. Hi, Kristy-Leigh. Welcome again to the NEM Show.
Thank you so much for having me, Alexis. And yes, well,
thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. I know these last days have been very rough, and particularly today. Okay, we're both coming from a very productive meeting from our ecosystem, but it's worth that I make this first question, because I always wanted to ask you about this. I mean, I've interviewed our women, the women of our ecosystem before, and I haven't interviewed you before, but I never asked you, why is your Twitter tag, "Oh God, girl"? and every time I read that, it looks like, I don't know if I'm wrong, but it should be read like, "Oh God, a girl."
Bingo. So the handle was originally created for video gaming because I needed a catchy avatar and a catchy handle that was under 10 characters that would fit on most video game platforms. So like Nintendo ID restricts you to 10 characters or less. Most GBA games and most old school handhelds do the same thing. So I needed a catchy name. And my handle before that was the Bakery Queen. So there I am, the Bakery Queen.
Oh my gosh, like strawberry shortcake.
Yes. So there's some of my OPSEC given away. But it was too long. I needed something catchy. And so I put my thinking cap on, and it needed to be something that was under 10 characters, had a good rhythm. So words have rhythm, and that creates interest, and wasn't used anywhere else. And finally, I settled on "Oh God, a Girl," and I was blown away that no one else had been using it at the time. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so lucky. What the hell? And then in about 2015, when I got my first real job from in the crypto ecosystem, which meant that I had to put on my big girl pants and actually go to an office and interact with people. I couldn't sit behind a computer screen and be an anonymous troll anymore, which sucked. I needed to, my boss wanted me to have a brand. He said, I need you to be out there and in the public. I need you to be speaking. I need you to be sharing some of your thoughts in the ecosystem. I was like, okay, well, I guess I can repurpose this handle because it's all I have handy, and I really don't want to go and invent a new brand. And I have to say, "Oh God, a Girl" as an ID, it's not only does it reflect something that was very much a part of like growing up as a kid on the internet, which is being a woman means you naturally, people either doubt you, get angry at your existence, or you know, they're even in the early video game communities, it was seen as, oh goodness, we're going to lose because we have a girl on our team. People would constantly mock you for the gender, even though that is something that you cannot help. You know, it was, so I decided to just own it. It's like, okay, you want to make fun of me? You want to make fun of the way I was born? It's right there in my handle. Bring it on. And it was de-escalating the situation. Worked really, really well. Today, you know, a hedge fund manager said to me the other day, he loves the name because that is a name that can get you a meeting with anyone, just because people will be curious. And it's true. The branding and the name it's a way that gets immediately clarifies my personality and who I am as a person. It's very upfront. And most importantly, it gets people curious and wanting to have a discussion. It's the best icebreaker. So
yeah,
very passionate about it.
And I don't know if I told you this before, but that name seems to be like, you know, like a slap in the face. I'm a girl, so what?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, and it's cool because it's competitive and it's great. It's great indeed. Now, speaking of being competitive, okay, many people could have thought of our ecosystem that we will be dumping this one after we launch Symbol. And recently, you made an AMA where you revealed some plans that showed us that there's a whole that there's many things to come for this one. And recently, you've been publishing pieces of a new roadmap
Mhm.
for both this one and Symbol. Now, what would you highlight from it? I mean, what's in it and what's coming new to our ecosystem?
Oh, that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one.
You think so?
Yeah, I do, because there's so many things that you guys haven't seen yet in the roadmap. I'd highlight, first and foremost, the block explorers that are coming. So I know that seems like a really lame thing, right? Well, why would you want a block explorer? When you build out and optimize critical parts of your blockchain infrastructure, so these are things like your wallet, your block explorer, your API, your SDKs. This is how you attract new people into your ecosystem. There's two ways to build a viral currency. One is through your consensus algorithm, or the way you onboard people into your ecosystem. So that is, how do they get your token? Buying isn't the answer. People need a way where they can create the currency through engagement. And then the second route is, how do you make it easy for people to explore and interact and derive value from the currency, from the protocol? And block explorers are a key part of the infrastructure that make it easy for data scientists, quantitative researchers, and traders to extract value. It's their way of extracting value. It's a language that they work with. A block explorer is not just a way to see state and history and what has happened on chain. It's also a really deep, powerful analytical tool for seeing current network health, as well as historical network health. So I'm really excited for what we have planned on our block explorers. I think a beautiful block explorer it's going to be paramount for what the future we have planned. The second thing I would highlight is probably our Mosaics extension that we're planning. So most importantly, we're looking at extending the Mosaic feature set to support the native on-chain encoding and decoding of image and audio files initially. And it's important to understand, let me reiterate, it's important for me to clarify that I say we're exploring that. That means that we have an idea of how to do this, but we don't have an idea of how would you go optimize it for the entire world. So if the entire world were to use Symbol today to engage in creating visual and audio-based NFTs, could it scale to that route? Haven't thought through that problem yet, but we'll get there. You put enough smart, brilliant people in a room, you can solve any problem.
Yeah, we have a good team.
And
yeah, it's true. It's true.
We do.
And we're confident in that. What do you think about that team of ours?
I love our team. This whole week I've spent running what we call our tech summit, which is basically a week-long session around strategy, operations, optimization and automation, network upgrades, community, and just learning from each other, having workshops about, problems that we've encountered and how to go solve them. And if you put the right people on the bus, you can drive, and in the right seats, you can drive that bus anywhere. You will be able to accomplish anything. And I really do feel that we're building the right team here at NEM. We're building a team of rock stars. And when you guys see some of the folks that are joining us, I think you're going to be blown away. I'm so excited to get to share them with you and share their ideas and their thoughts and their strategies.
Yeah, I know the feeling, and it's exactly like that. And speaking of rock stars, of course, we have this rock star blockchain that is symbol. And we often say, you may think of Symbol as a platform specifically for tokens, or mainly for tokens, meaning that, okay, it's a blockchain made for tokenization as an easy blockchain for building things like, for instance, NFTs that are the thing right now, nowadays. Why was this philosophy? Why did we turn this symbol platform into that token thing?
Well, I can't tell you why it was designed in that way, because I'm a newcomer, right? I can't tell you the original rationale from the core developer's point of view. Only they can speak to that. So I want to touch on like the fundamental difference of, what Symbol is today. It's core infrastructure designed for the tokenization of value and the digitization of assets. And it's really been custom designed to enable people to have a fair exchange of value. Like if I have a piece of artwork that I've created, I can swap it with you and trade it with you for your piece of artwork that you also value. And we can swap that between ourselves and we can have an agreed understanding of that value. My art is worth your art. And having those rules for what that value is pretty cool. And, the fair exchange of value also means that along the way, as that piece of art works its way throughout the world, throughout the ecosystem, I get some kickbacks. I get a little bit of that value extracted along the way because I created it. That is my right as an artist. Symbol can do a lot of cool things with mosaics. Most importantly, the aggregate transactions are an incredibly secure, reliable method of execution. So in blockchains like Ethereum that are custom built for the execution of smart contracts and specifically the execution of logic over and over, sometimes we get undefined behavior. Things go wrong. And that happens, and that is, that happens all the time in software development. The EVM is particularly scary because it's at such a lower level of abstraction that a lot of users don't understand the behavior. And a lot of times we catch undefined behavior too late. With Symbol, what we're hyper focused on really is enabling a really secure, reliable, easy method of batching, moving, and pushing transactions through. So with aggregate transactions, I can basically think about the logic that I want to execute. I want to send these two transactions to Alice, but then I want to split them up and then send a half of it to Bob. And then I want to go ahead and send sign a message with Bob's half that says Bob is the legal owner of these tokens. That would be about 5 steps of logic in an EVM-based smart contract. With aggregate transactions, I can complete all of those steps in one loop. So I only have to pay once for that. That's the best way I can kind of describe the power of aggregate transactions. If they're used correctly, if we empower people to use them correctly as well through better tooling, then they're a powerful force and they can allow some pretty complex logic.
Okay.
And from that, go ahead.
And let me interrupt you. Let me stop you there because I know for a fact that no many blockchains can store something and also represent it. Okay.
Yeah. So most blockchains can.
So do you think we're better with Symbol? We're better suited for that. We're better prepared for NFTs than some others, and I'm not saying that we're better than others. Of course not. We cannot brag about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where we're planning on going.
yeah.
That's what the vision we're building it towards. So I would say that today, we've got a good base, a good foundation, and we're going to build on top of that. Specifically, to address your comment about other blockchain protocols. So all blockchains can store things, but usually it's small amounts. Usually it is a little bit of bytes in the Coinbase field, or in in an extra dummy field for messages in your transaction. By extending the metadata set to be custom built for this purpose, we remove the need of a layer 2 storage solution. And so in that way, we're essentially building our own version of IPFS natively emulated with inside Symbol. I think that is the best way that I can explain it to people who are familiar with IPFS and that ecosystem. Do we want to clone IPFS? Absolutely not. I have a lot of ideas on how you make incredibly fast, efficient, highly scalable storage. I have a lot of ideas, and I'm in a lucky position where I can get to partake in the research and the study that's currently progressing around the industry, around decentralized storage and around sharding and around scalability. And I think we can draw and adapt quite a lot of interesting stuff from that.
And that's great. Now the other thing, that other leg we need to walk into this in this blockchain world is interoperability. Okay, because we can't do anything with a chain that just speaks to their own. We should be able to be communicating and sharing information with some other blockchains. That's what interoperability is about. Now, are we ready for that challenge? Because I think nowadays all of the blockchains need that. Our blockchains.
Other blockchains do usually have some form of interoperability standards. There's a few ways to do it. So let's define what that means. Interoperability means that you are able to share a schema or a data set, or you're able to transact essentially with another blockchain protocol. So I can take your Bitcoin transaction and execute that, or have it represent its equivalent in the Symbol ecosystem. That's interoperability, plugging into other chains. There's a few ways to do this. Sometimes we do it through UTXO swaps. Some people mistakenly call these atomic swaps, but UTXO-based swaps essentially means that if you are a UTXO coin, these are usually Bitcoin variations, then I can automatically import I can automatically talk to that protocol and switch and swap tokens. When most people talk interoperability today, what they really mean is that they want to plug into the EVM, or they want to be compatible with the liquidity that's around the ecosystem, specifically the DEXs. To get engaged with the liquidity of the ecosystem, and to get our creators who are building on Symbol to take advantage of the global blockchain liquidity, that's going to require us to build bridges to blockchain protocols, specifically a bridge into Ethereum, compatibility with EVM, compatibility with the ERC token standards, and compatibility with all things Ethereum, as well as other blockchain protocols, including the baseline protocol, including some of the other coins, including Bitcoin, Ravencoin, Cardano. It's going to be a lot of work. I will say we're up for the challenge. We're not going to rush it. We're going to get it done right. We're going to get it done properly, and we'll release it when it's ready. And if people want to come help join us and accelerate that, we're always looking for community members that have experience in professional development to come join us on this journey.
And speaking of which, there are many ways to make us deliver that information to us. One of them is through our social media. Before we say goodbye for this episode to Kristy-Leigh, I'd like her to tell us some final words to the community. What can they expect now from us, Kristy?
What can they expect from us? I think you can expect a pretty exciting next 3 months. I think when the community sees what we have in store for Symbol, they're going to be incredibly excited. I think most importantly, the community can expect that we are here to build a fantastic product that brings about the new economy movement. And that's not going away. We're going to do this no matter how long it takes. And I really hope that you guys will join us on that journey.
Thank you for that thought, Kristy-Leigh Minehan. She's the CTO of NEM Software. And of course, her name is Oh God, Oh Girl. Well, my name is Alexis Trujillo. See you next episode of the NEM Show. And, you know, you'll get more information about the NEM blockchain in this channel, the NEM official channel. Goodbye for now. See you, Kristy. Thank you.
Thank you.